Hey everyone, welcome back to Foil Fridays. This is Tucker from MattKiteboarding.com, and today I'm going to talk to you, quick walkthrough and review on the long-awaited Slingshot Phantasm foil. So we've been waiting for Slingshot to come out with a full carbon foil for years, it seems like. In fact, I mean, it probably has been years since the first spy shots we saw this, since they were first, R&D'ing it, figuring out all the details, and they really took their time, make sure they got all the details figured out. So let's walk through this thing real quick. Right here behind me, I have the 633 version, which is their bigger, free-ridier version. It could even be for wing foiling, for you lighter riders or guys riding in more wind. So let's take a quick peek at some of the components here, what comes with it. I can talk to you about what I think of it, and we'll go from there. Also, stay tuned towards the end of the video. I've got some really cool, exciting news that I found out about this foil that's kind of unique, and you established foilers, those of you that already are out there, have some really good gear. Stay tuned because you're going to like this news. So what we have here is the Phantasm 633 setup, and you can see there that's the 633 front wing. (92cm) mast, 400 stabilizer, and it all comes in this really nice padded case. Comes with the foil, which is awesome. If you buy it separately, this is probably a $150 bag. It's custom cut. It's all got padded containers for every part, which is really neat. Great for traveling, throwing it in the back of your car or whatever, so that you have a custom fit bag for it. It also comes with, and you don't see it right here because I have it tucked away, but it comes with neoprene covers. And you'll notice this year they are reinforced. They've got like a nylon wingtip end, because the normal nylon ones, the wingtips eventually just wear through and poke out. So that's really nice. Got those bags that cover the front and the rear wing there. And that comes included with the foil. So that's really awesome. As you might expect, it comes with hardware and a tool and all that stuff. Actually comes with lubricant and Teflon tape for the screws as well to keep them from corroding, keep them from getting seized up. So that's great. They include that with the case. Unfortunately, I noticed as I was unpacking it, at least this one, and I should probably confirm this, but it didn't come with board hardware. So I went out to use it for the first time, and I'm rifling through. I'm like, oh, I don't have board hardware. Thankfully, I had some board hardware that worked, but it's not your standard Slingshot M825 like they usually use that come included with their boards. So be prepared for that. You'll need a little bit longer hardware. It's a countersunk M8 by 30 that goes through this different kind of thicker top plate here. So yeah, that's unfortunate that didn't come with this particular foil, but hopefully it comes with the rest of them. I'm hoping that was just a bit of a mistake in packing in their part, but we'll figure that out for you guys. Anyway, the new mast is beautiful, as you can tell here. Just really high quality stuff. Huge connection to the fuselage there. You can see 3 bolts. Really substantial piece of machining right there, big piece of aluminum, and that keeps everything tight and stiff. 400 stabilizers, a great size for the 633. It still gives you great low end lift, low speed ability, but also a little bit more maneuverability, a little more agility, than some bigger stabilizers that you might use on another platform or something. 633 front wing, you know it from Slingshot in their aluminum foil as the Apollo. It's also really similar to the Moses 633. If you're familiar with that wing, most people are. Tony designed that one, Slingshot's designer. This is an adaptation of that. It's got a little bit more anhedral curve. It has winglets. So both those things lead to a little bit more stability, a little bit more direction for the foil. It's not quite as slippery in the yaw direction. So it's a little bit more confident feeling foil because of that. Yeah, really, I guess the number one thing I want to highlight in this is that the new mast is phenomenal. If you look at the engineering on this thing, it is a real marvel. It is crazy stiff. I mean, I don't know if you guys can see this. You're probably going to hate me doing this, but I will show you. I can put a lot of force into this, and I'm not getting any flex. I mean, this thing is the stiffest mast I've ever ridden. It is crazy, crazy stiff. It's still pretty light, but it translates into a super responsive foil. You're not gonna break this thing. Really, I think it's designed for windsurfing riggers. I mean, that's what you want. You want a mast that'll go through everything, stay incredibly stiff, and transfer that energy most efficiently. And somehow they did it while keeping it relatively lightweight, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, so that's the mast. You can see that big fuselage connection that transfers that energy into that fuselage, keeps everything really stable, predictable, and transfers that energy really fast so that when you move, your wings move and there's no flex or delay in that. And I think honestly that's the biggest thing that I can say about this foil is it is super predictable, super confident feeling, confidence inspiring, both because of that rigidity, but also because of the directional stability that that updated wing design has. So that's that. What do I think of this foil? Well, I've ridden it kiting a couple of times now. I've winged with it a couple of times, wing foiled with it a couple of times. Hi, Puma. And it's a really fun foil. I would say, you know, beginners don't feel, you know, too shy of this foil. It's not so high performance and hard to ride like some of the racier foils. Very free ridey, very, you know, confidence inspiring. You know, it is a longer mast, so if you're just barely beginning, never done it before, you know, it might be good to learn on a little bit of a shorter mast if you're, you know, somebody that doesn't learn these things that quickly. But for those athletic people, for those really, you know, confident and experienced in board sports, I'd say jump right into it. It's a great foil. Don't need a lot of kite power for it. You know, it really has a low end lift, good low end lift, good high speed ability. I mean, decent anyway, for a foil that's, you know, 1,250 centimeters squared, give or take a few. So yeah, I mean, it's a good free ridey foil for people that are looking to go out there and cruise around, ride some small waves, carve around, have fun, especially in lighter winds. So I think this is going to be the top selling size for the Phantasm series if I had to place a bet, just because there's a lot of people that want to ride that way, a lot of newer riders that want some ease of use, you know, a lot of experienced riders that want to have that free ride, don't need a lot of kite power kind of performance. And now with winging, it's cool that that can cross over into winging as a bit of a higher end, higher speed, I should say, foil. So that was lots of fun. Now, the big question, I think, is how is this going to compare to Moses? And I'll do a separate video on that with a more in-depth review of these two foils compared to one another, because they are really similar and we can really go granular on the details. But the basics is this foil is stiffer, it's a little heavier, it's a little bit more locked in or directionally stable, a little bit more stable feeling. So I would say the Phantasm is a better foil for newer riders, a better foil for heavier riders, you know, for riders that really put their gear through a lot of riggers, maybe people that are jumping and doing those kinds of things. You know, it's just going to be a little bit more durable and, you know, better for the long run in that way. In terms of high performance riding, you know, this one isn't quite as fast as the Moses 633, and I would attribute some of that to the winglets, some of that just to the design of the foil. It's just a little bit more chunky, not quite as sleek. So you might lose, you know, a couple of miles an hour on the top end, but really, you know, I would say in a foil like this, if you're cruising at those speeds anyway, you're really not, you know, utilizing the meat and potatoes of this foil. You're pretty locked in and just can't really do much but go straight at that point anyway. So, you know, I'd say it's a notable sacrifice, or not notable, I should say, but it's a willing sacrifice for me, at least, jumping over to a foil like this. The wings, the stabilizer especially, are still quite light. Front wing is a little heavier, you know, than what you're going to get from Moses. It's a different kind of construction, but it's really solid, really stiff, and, you know, something you can count on for a long time. And of course, you get that legendary Slingshot support as well. So yeah, I mean, it's a great foil. For me personally, I'd use it most for kiting free ride, a little bit for winging, but, you know, being that the front wing is so low aspect, you know, it doesn't have that glide that I like, that kind of pumping efficiency that I like with winging, especially on waves. So it's fun, but it's not phenomenal. You know, I'd really prefer something a little higher aspect, mostly for winging, than this. So that is that. This is an awesome foil, really excited about it, and to see how this program grows for Slingshot. You know, they've built a really good platform. Now I'd love to see them add some more front wings, some more stabilizers, some more fuselage options, and really grow it to its full potential like they have their other wings, so that, you know, they have another leg to stand on performance-wise. Their aluminum foils are phenomenal, they always have been, and now it's time to step into that next tier, that next level of performance for those Slingshot lovers like myself. So, as I promised, there is something exciting that I wanted to share with you guys that are more experienced riders, that might already have established quivers of foils, and that is Moses wings. The Surf Series wings from Moses will fit on this fuselage, both front wing and stabilizer. So I'm going to bolt those on here real quick just to show you, to prove it to you, and show you how that goes. But that was the first thing I thought, like, oh man, it'd be so awesome if I could put, you know, all my existing Moses wings, because there's so many of them, there's so many good ones, so many people have quivers of Moses wings that are invested in kite foiling and wing foiling. You know, if they can add the upgrade of the fuselage and the mast without having to reinvest in a bunch of wings, and unfortunately Slingshot doesn't make all those wings yet, so it's like, oh man, it'd be really cool. I wonder how we could do it, but bang, magically, it's already gonna fit. So I'll bolt one of those on here real quick to show you. All right, so bam, there it is. Matches up. You will need to use the proper hardware that comes with your front wing from Moses. Don't use your Slingshot hardware, it might not be right. But just like that, bang, magic. One of my favorite setups, 1100 425, Glide City right here, and compiled with the new fuselage and stiffer mast from Slingshot. This foil is a little bit more lively, a little bit more responsive, easier to ride. Just because you're having a stiffer connection, you're more connected to what the wings are doing. So on a big wing like this 1100, it is phenomenal. So yeah, that's the big surprise. You can use your Moses surf wings right along with the Slingshot kit here. So those wings aren't going to waste. If you decide to switch over, you can just bolt them right up. And thankfully we have those options now to upgrade. I mean, if you want a kite foil and wing foil, this is an awesome setup with the 1100, the 633, and you know, this 400 is an awesome stabilizer on here as well with the 1100, the 400 with the 1100. You can see it go right like that, but yeah, 400 is an awesome stabilizer to have in your foil quiver for those bigger, surfier wings. So yeah, that's that. This has been Tucker from MattKiteboarding.com with another Foil Fridays. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up, share it with a friend, subscribe to our channel. Any questions or comments, put them in the comments section below. We'll do our best to respond, and we'll see you next time.